The day can be loud enough to hide what is happening inside us. Messages arrive. Work demands attention. A screen always has one more thing to show us. But then the phone finally goes dark. The room becomes completely quiet, and the mind does not. Something returns. A conversation from 3 days ago. A sudden, sharp fear about money. A memory of an awkward mistake. A resentment you thought you had already let go. When a thought repeats in the silence, it gains weight. Rehearse a scenario enough times, and a mere possibility starts to sound like a documented fact. A fleeting temptation, given enough room to echo, finds a new justification. It mutates from something you simply want into something you feel you absolutely need. Even someone else's opinion, a passing judgment, or a borrowed definition of success can linger in the room long after they've left. Replay it enough, and it becomes indistinguishable from your own inner voice. The hidden question here goes beyond the surface of your mind. The true question is, who or what is actually shaping the way you think? The most dangerous influences in our lives rarely announce themselves loudly. They simply return. What we repeatedly allow to speak to us proves that human attention is never neutral territory. It is an active battleground. There is a short chapter at the very end of the Quran that speaks directly into this invisible struggle. It doesn't begin by telling us to somehow silence every single voice. It teaches us where to go when a voice begins to shape the heart. Surah An-Nas. Seek refuge in the Lord of humankind, the sovereign of humankind, the God of humankind, from the evil of the whisperer who retreats, who whispers into human hearts, from among jinn and human beings. Notice exactly where this chapter begins. It builds a wall of protection before it even names the threat. It invokes God in 3 distinct relationships to humanity, as Lord and Sustainer, as Sovereign King, and as the ultimate God. This sequential framing creates an immediate emotional anchor. Instead of drawing your attention straight to the anxiety of a threatening whisper, the text wraps the human mind in the absolute security of divine authority. True spiritual resilience does not start by shadowboxing with the darkness in your mind. It starts by securing an unshakable connection to the ultimate source of safety. Only after establishing that sanctuary does the text name the danger, al-waswas, al-khannas, the whisperer who retreats. Classical Islamic exegesis defines this term through a very specific behavioral pattern. The influence is cyclical. It sneaks in as a subtle suggestion, vanishes the moment it is confronted, and waits in the periphery to return when you are vulnerable again. The text identifies 2 sources for this constant whispering: the unseen spiritual world of jinn and the visible human world. Today, that human element is loud, amplified by algorithms, social feeds, advertising, and peer pressure, all engineered to hold our attention. It is crucial to draw a line here. This is a spiritual framework about moral influence and temptation. It is not an explanation for clinical mental health conditions. Severe anxiety, trauma, or obsessive-compulsive disorders involve biological and psychological factors that require professional medical care. But for the daily, grinding internal battle of influence, understanding this cyclical nature is deeply empowering. Once you identify the rhythm of the attack, approach, retreat, return, you can dismantle its power over your choices. This leads to a critical psychological distinction demanded by the surah. Experiencing a thought is not the same thing as making a decision. Just because an envious or fearful suggestion enters your mind does not mean it belongs to you. The classical Islamic solution acts as a spiritual circuit breaker. The whisperer naturally withdraws the exact moment the human mind actively remembers God. The cycle is interrupted by a higher awareness. Translated into modern action, this means building strict boundaries around your attention. It means pausing before sending a message written in anger. It means stepping away from digital feeds that normalize toxic comparison. Consider a father carrying heavy financial dread, or a spouse holding on to a bitter resentment. The external circumstances may look exactly the same. The bills have not vanished, but their internal state is now anchored. They are no longer making decisions based on fear. The Quran does not promise a life completely free of inner struggle. Instead, it offers a permanent, accessible sanctuary. The whisper may return, but so can remembrance.